on today's episode of The Real DJ Show.
I don't play the lyrics in that. I play the ding 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 ding. Right? And you get emotion out of that.
Yeah, that sounds like a Scorsese. It sounds like a Scorsese movie.
Oh, that's just the beginning. That's just how it all got started.
Ooh,
I know who's gonna like this.
Juicy.
What's up, everybody? We are back for another episode of The Real DJ Show. As always, hasn't changed even since we came back from Vegas. The name came with me. Rich Cranston. We're all working remote here, by the way. John Andre's in the studio. What's up, guys?
Hey, man.
Hey.
I got Dre at the table. I got Mickey in the booth. Rich is on the road solving the world's problems. So we got him on the Zoom. And we got a heavy hitter guest with us today. We are super excited to have this guest on. We met him at MEX in Vegas. We're all still a little, bleary-eyed from Vegas. It's been a week, but I'm still feeling it. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm still feeling Vegas. But we're going to do it in the one thing segment. So, Mickey, give me that one thing video.
Let's go.
I wake up, flex, thumb down, that check. No drip, this wet. Tell him run it up. No sleep, no rest.
All right, we're stoked to have with us Alex Trujillo from Spaded Hearts Entertainment. You may know him as DJ Zero. He tore up the DJ Takeover stage on Monday night in Vegas. We were super excited to have you. Alex, what's up, man?
All right, what's going on, guys? Thank you for having me.
Oh, we're always blessed to have and share other DJ stories. And it was really cool vibing with you. You a man, was such a great set and brings us back to Vegas, man. Well done. You slayed it.
Yeah, thank you, man. Vegas was awesome. Shout out to the DJ Takeover squad. Everybody out there did their thing.
Yeah, it really set the tone for the week, I thought, right? I mean, you come in, some of us were in on Sunday, but then Monday night, the Takeover kicked it off. I think Rundat did a great job hosting. The DJs were fire, but Alex, your set really stood out to us. It's pretty memorable. It may be because that's when, the Patron we were drinking kind of kicked in.
It was a good spot. It was like 11 o'clock, so it was a great time.
It was
perfect timing. It was the sweet spot because, everybody had gotten there by then. All the people who didn't want to come right at the start time, everybody had gotten there. Everybody had a couple drinks and
couple. But it was a magic time because I remember that all of his sets were great. I mean, they really were. That was the lasting memory of it. But I remember Alex's set very particularly. Remember, he was in the Heat jersey. I don't know what it was about the set that really set it off, but we came away remembering that one. So, dude, it was an amazing job.
Good. That's good.
Hey,
all right, man.
Johnny, before we get to the segment, Alex, so what was it like just performing in front of a room full of DJs, just all staring at you critically and at a convention?
It was nerve-wracking. Yeah, it was definitely nerve-wracking. One of my more nerve-wracking gigs because, normally when you play to a crowd, they might pick up on some of it, but, they might miss most of the stuff. Just the general, if your volume's off or anything like that, if it's off just a little bit. And you can kind of get out of there. In a room full of DJs, they're watching you, they're listening, they're critiquing, and subconsciously, they're not going to just come up to you and be like, "Oh man, that was terrible," but they're just going to be like, "Yeah," and because we're all our own worst critics. So any mistake we make, anything we do, it's 10 times bigger in our head. So before I went on stage, I was freaking out. I was panicking because I knew that everything I did was gonna be monitored. So I was like, all right, you know what? Rundat, she actually came to me and she gave me a little pep talk before I went on, and it was like, you know what? If I go out there, as long as I don't bomb and it completely stops and there's complete silence, I'll be fine. And as soon as I walked out, it's kind of like my nerves went out the window. I got so panicky that it just went out the window. I was like, all right, let's do this. And that was it. The rest is history. Yeah, my brain shuts off and time stops and it feels like I'm back here in my garage.
Well, it's funny. That was the first thing we thought too when we come into the venue. Look, there was a little dance floor. I mean, people were grooving for sure, right? But there was a whole room of DJs like this, right? Sitting back and
impress me,
listening, and you don't, like you said, you don't get that normally. You're DJing a private event or even a public event. People are grooving, having fun. They're not listening for the little nuances of what you're doing. But you're right. We thought, oh my God, these guys are killing it. Not only just because the set is so good, but because there are, the 400 or 500 DJs just chilling, just like watching like this. We're like, wow.
Yeah.
One of the things with that, we were talking to DJs before the event. We were kind of like getting together so we don't play the same songs, you know. So I was in your set, what's on my set. So all the DJs had gotten together before that, and you know, just trying to get the flow of everything to make sure that we didn't play every song. And they were like, one of the DJs was like, I don't know what to play, I don't know what to do, you know, trying to run it through the same set list. I'm like, we're playing to a bunch of DJs, you know, we're not going to play anything they haven't heard before. And chances are, you know, most of them aren't going to dance because by nature, this is what they do. They play music and they've probably heard all these mixes. So we're not going to do anything they haven't seen before. So just go up there and just try to have a good time and show them who you are, you know?
That's a great point.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys. I felt a lot of love in that room. You know,
Totally.
I don't know if it was post-pandemic, we're ready to kind of all be together again, or if it's just like, damn, this is what we needed. But, you know, there's a couple hiccups, not from your set, but just in general, who the hell cares, right?
Yeah.
Just like you said, we're all DJs, it's all the same love, and we're just, I was very impressed and overwhelmed by that emotion.
Well, I agree
everybody
with
did
you.
a great job. There was a lot of love between the group. You know what I mean? Everybody just lifting each other up and supporting each other. I thought that was awesome.
I agree. There
Awesome.
was love. I mean, we've been going to those Mobile Beach shows since forever. I mean, 2006 or 7, right? I have never seen so many DJs dance. Like you said, you normally a room full of DJs. They're chilling, they're listening, they're appreciating. But like, I've never seen so many DJs like dance. I mean, and have fun that way. Kind of let loose. So testament to you guys that were on the takeover, did an amazing job. All right, Alex. So we'd love to
Johnny,
hear.
let's take that deeper dive.
Yeah, man. So we'd love to hear, Alex, kind of the origin story, right? How'd you got into DJing and Spaded Hearts, where that came from, and what you're doing now?
Well, initially I started DJing when I was 15. My father was a DJ in the Bronx, and he taught me on the original Technique 1200s. He had like a 2-channel Gemini mixer.
Yeah.
And I, like my first memory I ever had was being at a party that he was DJing at. And, you know,
No kidding.
remembering listening to Planet Rock, Africa Bombata, Soul Sonic Force. Like the first time I was a kid, it was like, it blew my mind, you know. And when I was 15, he taught me on the regular Technique 1200 turntables, you know, how to mix, how to blend, how to connect everything, how to put it all together. So when I was 15, I got my first party. Actually, it wasn't a party. It was my first gig at a pool hall. My summer school
No kidding.
friend. Yeah. So this is how it all started. My life in the DJing. My dad taught me how to use his equipment, and I had a buddy in summer school whose parents owned a pool hall. And in summer school, he was telling me like, hey, listen, you know, we need a DJ. And I was telling him that I had just learned. I was like, yeah, I'm a DJ. I got this. I could do this. And so his parents actually got me the gig, and we went to this pool hall. And I was way too young to be. I was 15 years old, and this pool hall was like, you know, it was a pool hall in the Bronx, you know. So use your imagination. It was kind of like really, really seedy and shady. And I went there. My dad had just gotten this new the Denon DNF CD players. So I thought I thought I was the man with those things. I came in there with the CD players. I had like the CD book full of CDs, and I went in there and I was so nervous because there was a bunch of adults, and it looked like the kind of a place like if you didn't play the right music, they would kick your ass. So, and I'm 15 years old and stuff like that. So I get there, I'm nervous. I set up, and I start playing music, and you know, people come up and start making requests, and somebody buys me a drink, and I'm like, I'm 15 years old. I'm chilling with all these adults talking about music, having a fucking beer, and I'm like, I thought it was awesome. I thought it was awesome. And at that moment, I was like, all right, I know this is kind of what I want to do. So from there, I just started DJing like local house parties in New York, underground stuff. We were too young to get into the clubs. You know, we couldn't get into any bars or any clubs. So all those little house parties, they kind of became how I got known there. And then when I moved to Florida, when I moved to Pennsylvania, that's when I started with the whole Spaded Hearts entertainment. Initially, it was just a small crew of me and my friends. Some of them were rappers, some of them were producers, some of them were dancers, and then there was me. It was a DJ. So that kind of spread out into its own thing from there. And when it became time to do my own entertainment company, I kind of went with the Spaded Hearts because that was the crew from back in the days.
Yeah, that sounds like a Scorsese. It sounds like a Scorsese movie.
Oh, that's just the beginning. That was just how it all got started.
You should option that to like a movie producer. That sounds like a Scorsese movie to me, right?
Oh yeah,
like,
no, I'm working on the book. The rest of the stuff gets way more interesting because after I moved to Florida, I had gotten some shoddy news about my health that affected my DJing. So I ended up having to get a device implanted in my brain and having to relearn a lot of DJing stuff over again.
You're kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I got a machine in here.
This is a movie, dude. Oh my God.
What?
This is a movie.
No kidding.
You got a movie script here.
I'm writing a book. I'm going to write a book. I might as well write a book and sell it. But yeah. In 2020, my condition got really bad, so I needed to get a machine put in my head. The brain surgery affected my DJing. It affected my scratching, my hand-eye coordination, my timing, my phrasing, my beat matching. Even by ear, just little stuff like that because of the damage to the brain. But on the flip side of that, DJing and music therapy has actually helped, to restore memories and restore function in my brain and cognitive functions and stuff. So it's something that I want to explore more now that I'm getting better. Is how music and how DJing actually can help you therapeutically.
Oh my God!
Wow!
Look, man, you need a book agent. I'm your guy. Call me. You got my number. I'll make this happen. I mean, I want to read this book right now, dude. That's an incredible story, and I'd love to sometime offline. I'd love to hear more about that.
I love the therapeutic aspect of all that.
Yeah. I was looking into because now that I'm actually doing this more, I want to find more outlets to do, looking into writing and stuff like that. But I was looking into music therapy and how it started originally, thousands of years ago, and they would use it to and that I don't want to say heal people, but they assumed that it would heal people and give them the magical properties of the music through the vibrations. But
music is powerful.
It wasn't until 17 or 1800s that they actually started using it for medical purposes, where it was you can use it to restore memories. Perfect example. I found out that in your brain there's a part called the auditory cortex, and that's where the music and all the musical information is stored. It's separate from where your memories are stored. So people with dementia and Alzheimer's, they'll have memories restored by that part of the auditory cortex just based on listening to a song. So they'll show dementia patients a song and it'll trigger memories or trigger reactions from them. It's pretty awesome.
I don't know about you guys, but every time I hear a song, my mind automatically goes to where I was the last time I heard that song. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And as DJs, I think that's a lot of what we try to do is take people back to happy times. So when we're doing our meetings with them, we're like, all right, when did you guys graduate high school? When did you guys, have these milestone moments in your life? And then we try to play music from that era to kind of try to trigger happy memories. And it's so unique. And it's so amazing.
No, we got deep today, man. I thought we were going to talk about your dope set at MEX, and we got deep today. Oh my God, Alex took us to a whole new place.
This could be a whole nother segment, just talking about the emotion of selling involved with music and the therapy that we provide at events.
Dude, once we plan that segment, we're going to get Alex back. I mean, I think this is the whole show. Right? We just have Alex the whole show just dropping knowledge on us. Man, this has been great. All right. So, I think there's a million things to choose from. You may have already answered this, but tell us, Alex, what's the one thing for you? So what differentiates you between the DJs in your market and, and what you're doing? What's the big differentiator?
Honestly, I'm pretty sure you probably heard this answer 1,000 times, but it's actually me. I'm the differentiator. I'm the thing that separates my company and me from everybody else. My journey is unique. My experience is unique. My skills are unique. They all come from a place that's rooted in music. It's a place that's rooted in DJing culture. There is no other DJ Zero. There might be somebody else named DJ Zero. There might be somebody else who can take my sets and copy them, or take my playlists and copy them, but there's only one me. And that I am Spaded Hearts Entertainment. Basically, that's my company. There's no Spaded Hearts without DJ Zero. There's no DJ Zero without Spaded Hearts. It kind of goes hand in hand. I take risks. I play music that most people either won't play or they don't even think to find. Being unique is kind of what sets me apart. There's no component or one thing that I'm gonna have that another DJ doesn't have. And it's how you utilize that. So you can give a DJ 100 songs, and you can give 10 DJs 100 songs, and everybody will use those songs a different way. And I'd like to think that mine would probably stand out the most. But that's just me.
No, I believe you.
Last question: the DJ Zero aspect, is that a ground zero type of thing? You started from ground up, or how did that go?
So originally in New York, Zero was my nickname. That was how everybody knew me as a kid. Since I was 4 or 5, snot nose running around on the block, everybody knew me as Zero. That was my nickname. It was based on an anime character. It was like a Gundam type of anime robot suit character. It was dope. Then I started DJing. And everyone started saying, "Oh, Zero's a DJ. Zero's a DJ." And then I was like, "All right, you might as well just call me DJ Zero." To kind of simplify, because that's how everybody in the Bronx knew me. It was like, "Oh, Zero's a DJ. Zero's a DJ." So just call me DJ Zero. And then going into it more, once I started actually learning about equipment, Zero's where you set everything at to make sure it's flush. Like if you set your tone arm and your tone arm's perfectly balanced, That's 0. That's where you set the weight at. You set the counterbalance at 0, and it's perfectly balanced. All your meters, all your knobs, all your stuff, 0 represents equal level, you know? So I thought it was a good fit.
Yeah, I love how you put so much thought into everything about your personality, your showmanship, your business. You know, a lot of times you talk to people and listen, you know, people have their own thing. That's totally cool. But when they come up with names and they come up, yeah, I do this because it's just seems superficial. There's reasons and formulas why you do stuff. And that's really interesting and very thankful to hear your story.
Yeah. I think it's always better when it's organic, when it's not forced, you know, when, like, perfect example, people might think that, you know, I'm just like a fake version of a DJ or something like that. And so they get to know me and they're like, oh, okay, this is who he really is. This is like ingrained in me day and day. I wake up, I come here, I do this, I mess up 1,000 times. It's just part of who I am. I like that. That's better organically than somebody who's just always taking pictures behind decks and trying to do it, you know, for the gram. You know, it's either you are it or you're not it, you know, and in this case, I kind of am it, you know.
Well, this is like one of my most favorite genuine conversations we've had as part of this. I mean, I think the blessing for us when we did this show, besides having an outlet during the pandemic to keep chatting about what we like to chat about, but the blessing we've had is to meet so many interesting people. And Alex, unfreaking believable, dude. You might be the most interesting guy we've met doing this. I want to pick your brain some more. Dude, I really appreciate your time today.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
All right, Nikki, get us out of the one thing. That was Alex Trujillo from Spaded Hearts Entertainment, DJ Zero from the Bronx to Florida. Dude, whatever this guy's doing, follow him. Zero, where can they follow you, man? Where can they find you?
At official DJ Zero. So official DJ Zero pretty much everywhere.
All right, dude, we appreciate you. Have a great event season, and hopefully we'll talk again soon.
Of course you will, man, guys. Take it easy. Stay safe.
All right, buddy. So that was the one thing.
Yeah.
Love the one thing.
Yeah.
Get all fired up about the one thing. So, hey, this is our core topic today. And you haven't noticed, I brought Mickey in. Mickey's normally in the box over there. There's no box.
Not today.
I like to say Mickey in the box. But normally the producer. But we brought you in because this is something near and dear to your heart when we're talking about music and the talent of mixing. This is something that you're well known for and I think can help us. So we brought you out of the box, put you at the table. We got Rich and Dre over there on the couch.
They let me loose.
There
they are.
Wonder Twin power activated. They're wearing the same shirt today, which is nice. Yeah. We have Rich and Dre with us. Switch.
Hi.
If you noticed while we're having a conversation that Mickey is playing with his phone, he's doing the producing from the table, which is pretty impressive. Camera.
I'm trying.
All right. So our topic today is one that is a hotly debated topic or well-covered topic on social medias in the DJ world and on YouTube. And it's about quick mixing. Now, we're not really going to cover, like, should you be doing it? We've already covered that, right? In the last episode, I don't know if it'll be actually the last episode. We recorded it last. Talking about why you should be quick mixing at weddings. So we're all going to assume that if you're watching this, then we've already covered the topic of should you be quick mixing at weddings? And the answer is
hell yes.
Hell yes. It's a differentiator. It's great. You should be doing it. All right. But look, I think that the videos, and there's some great ones out there, right? Recently I've watched DJ Ragoza has one that's really good. Scooter. I love Scooter, by the way. These are my favorite, like, direct music DJ guys. I mean, they all have videos out there. Nick has covered the topic a bunch of times. And they've all done pretty well. I think, though, that there needs to be a primer, right? Just like a slow explanation of some basic terms. And if you're a DJ who has been just not in this world yet, you're, a fade in and out, all respect, just haven't picked up this as part of your product. Just a quick primer on, like, what quick mixing is and the basics of some things to help you get started on a very basic level. I think that is often the kind of the hurdle, right? The barrier of entry is people jump right into, like, showing you stuff on the deck. You're like, can step back and just give me some basics. So can you just real quick, Mick, just tell us what quick mixing is? I mean, when we say that term, like, what we're talking about?
Basically, there's going to be multiple verses to the song, sometimes 2, 3, 4, whatever, and they're usually separated by a chorus. Sometimes there's the wild card of the bridge, which is kind of the turnaround section.
Breakdown.
Breaking it all down. But basically, quick mixing, in its simplest form, is getting rid of a lot of that and focusing on the main part of what makes that song an amazing song. One of the verses, one of the choruses, little bit of introduction at the beginning, and then getting out of it and getting onto something else. Not second verse, third verse, fifth verse, or anything like that.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need all of that, especially when you're trying to quick mix. Now, this is going to be song dependent. You're not going to want to necessarily, you don't want to cut Bohemian Rhapsody short.
Rich, real quick, just and Dre, what's like the emotional reaction or the difference to a crowd when you're doing that versus fading in and out of a whole song?
Oh, I mean, it's like jaw-dropping type of stuff. The experience I want on my dance floor is I want to be able to tug on emotions to get that feedback from people. Like, I want them yelling, I want them eye-popping, and when they hear little clips of song or like an undertone, Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics, I don't play the lyrics in that. I play the ding 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 ding, right? And you get emotion out of that.
Mickey, mark that part of the video for the intro.
I would say we're gonna remix that.
Beatboxing the Eurythmics.
Dre, what do you think?
I think it's really as well if the song selections are good, and you can get one song that plays into another song, which with the beats playing in. That really helps, and that's the reaction that I go for, is finding songs that work well together so you can quick mix in and out from one to the other.
Now, there are some really advanced ways to quick mix. We're not going to get that today. We're going to talk about some very basics. And look, for some of you guys, do not mean to insulting your intelligence, but I think that there's some need to talk about some basic terms when we're talking about quick mixing. And the most basic of them is the tempo of the song, or as we like to say, the BPM, the beats per minute. So Mickey, talk about that, like how knowing a BPM or the ranges of BPMs and how that getting started and just knowing what that is going to get you started quick mixing.
Basically, BPM it's a term for beats per minute. It's how many beats that you can hit in the course of 60 seconds. So if it's 60 beats per minute, that means you're hitting one beat every second for a minute. That's just to give you a general reference. Now, depending on the song, it depends on the genre too. Like a lot of dance music, you've probably seen the habit that a lot of great dance music is around the 128 to 130 BPM, which means that if you were to tap your hand on the table or on your leg or something 128 times over the course of a minute, that would be in line with one of these songs.
In general, about BPMs, is there, you want to match them, right? So from one song to the other, one technique involved in doing that quick mix is that you're matching the BPM of one song to another, right? And you can adjust that, very easily, a sync button or, your pitch bender on your deck, you can match it. Is there like a range you normally would consider for a DJ, like, hey, how much up or down that you can really do? Is there a limit?
So there's really no limit. It's really just what sounds good. So your software and your controller is going to determine, like, the quality of the equipment that you're using is going to determine how far you can go. If you have a pro level controller, like the 1000 SRT or something, maybe the new Rev 7, probably something along those lines is going to be able to handle a wider BPM change than maybe some of these more entry level or some of like the medium consumer decks will be able to do. But basically, if you're sticking around, like, when you're on your sliders, usually they do it in percentages, like percentage of the whole song. So if you're moving around 8%, or even with within 5 to 10 BPM of the original tempo, if it's a faster song, it's going to be a much more drastic change. If it's a slower song, like going from 95 to 100 BPM, it's not going to be that drastic. Like, you're going to notice it, but it's going to be a much different feel if you were to go 125 to 130.
Rich, your whole wedding is one, beat matched, nonstop, blended performance, right? How do you are you thinking about BPM ranges, when you're doing these quick mixing, talk about BPM and the scope of your normal performance?
Yeah, absolutely. Mostly when I'm doing quick mixing, it's during the dance floor portion of my set, right? And I'm quick mixing songs that are either one-hit wonders, popular right now, what's good for that, Laffy Taffy, Chubbawamba, great Sweet Dreams, Eurythmics, great quick mixes, right? But everything is mapped out. I know everything that I'm going to play kind of going into that 20-minute set. But everything is beat matched. I don't stray too far I don't go from like 95 to 108. For me, that's too much, right? I gotta split the difference here somewhere. But most of it's during dancing. Most of it's during, songs that I know I can go in and out of. But I don't have, let me just be clear, I don't have a plan of, all right, this is what I'm going to play this entire night, because as DJs, you have to be dynamic. If someone comes up and requests this, one music group, you want to be able to fit that in there, because they're going to be super excited when they hear that. And what are they going to do? They're going to run to their girlfriends and be like, I requested this song, and it's going to enhance their experience. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So BPM, beats per minute, is one way when we're getting an intro into a quick mix. You have to know what these BPMs are and match them.
Right.
All right. So Mickey, talk also, the word phrasing gets tossed around. I don't know if people understand what we mean by phrasing, but phrasing, or knowing the phrasing of a song, is incredibly important to the quick mix, right? I mean, being able to mix these two songs together, understanding what phrasing is. Can you just break down what we mean when we say the phrasing of a song?
So basically, when you're looking at any pop song, especially those of the last like 30, 40 years, there's a lot of similar structure between all these different songs. You have your introduction, which could be 4 bars, 8 bars, 16 bars. Usually they're in multiples of 4. It does tend to make things a lot easier to predict that way. And then the next section is usually your first verse. Then you'll go into a chorus, then another verse, then usually a chorus, and then into a bridge. And these are all different sections of the song that will happen. Now, the intro, first verse, and chorus is typically what we're going to be using primarily when we're referring to quick mixing. All of the rest of the stuff that you have going on after that, is it a great part of the song? If you're talking about the song itself, yes. If you're talking about it in terms of using it in your DJ set, you'll want to keep it to those first 3 elements: the introduction, the first verse, the chorus, because that is what people are going to most often recognize. Not everyone can necessarily sing the second or third verse of a pop song that they know on the radio. They know that first verse and chorus, and then, attention spans, they just lose it after that.
John, this is huge.
Yeah.
I think phrasing over anything else, in my opinion, it's the game changer.
Yes.
When you have DJs that mix songs, there's a lot of DJs do this, right? So you could have beat matching down, you could start mixing in key. That's very easy. But phrasing is a whole different ball game. When you start mixing, first thing, you shouldn't be mixing lyrics into lyrics. First off, right?
Right.
But when you start mixing out of music that the song's progressing and it's in the middle of the lyrics or middle of a chorus, I mean, it just sounds bad. And the ear of our listeners is getting better. The audience, the clients, the people on our dance floors, they're getting educated. They know what's good and what's not so good.
Well, I think too, when people say that quick mixing doesn't work, right, or crowds are going to yell at you if you quick mix, is when you don't know phrasing. If you cut a song off in like the middle of a chorus, they're singing along to Starships by, Nicki Minaj, and Starships, and then they're singing it, and you mix into the song in the middle of the chorus, and they're like, what the hell just happened? Yeah. Or they're singing their favorite song, and it just, in the middle of the verse, they're singing Ice Ice Baby, and stop, hesitate, and then you just start mixing into a different song. Wait, that's when you get sideways, when you don't finish a phrase. And so we say the word phrasing, this comes from the fact you're thinking of your music like a paragraph, and there's sentences. And if you cut off, in the middle of a sentence, it doesn't make any sense. So looking for these parts of a song, these phrases, and you're mixing at the end of them. And by the way, is there a more aha moment in your life as a DJ when you realize the most intros to songs are 8 measures and most choruses are 8 measures, right? This is this incredible aha moment where wait a minute, this song has an 8 measure intro. That chorus is 8 measures. I should start the intro at the beginning of the chorus. And so when the chorus ends, I'm getting to the guts of that next song. That's an incredible aha moment.
You just can't download music from some site and expect to be awesome at it. You've got to know how that particular mix progresses. Is it a quick mix? Is it a super short mix? Is it a short mix? Is it a full length mix? And I put in my cue points. That's my entire flight down to Vegas. I'm going to be going through new music and just brushing up. That's what I did during COVID. And I'll tell you what, my sets last year, my weddings last year were some of the best that I've personally done. I'm very happy with what happened last year. And I owe a lot of it to the preparation that was done during lockdown.
Well, I think you hit on something there that's really important. Like a step that I think people that want to start quick mixing leave out is they're trying to figure out how to quick mix with their library that they have had forever, right? Like a DJ, we still have it somewhere in here, like the old coffin case of the promo only CDs, or, you know, like I have, I don't know, when we started DJing, Rich, there was that like 100 disc. I mean, you could have bought it at Mobile Beat off of somebody, the wedding, whatever.
It was the equivalent of the top 200.
Right, whatever. You could buy this. And people have that. And so they have these regular, or you bought your music from iTunes, or in your library is generally consisting of the radio version of songs. Yeah. And you're trying to quick mix on that. And you're like, oh, you're beating your head against the wall. This is really hard because there's no place I feel like to do that. So something that I think that is like the number one thing you want to start quick mixing is start buying DJ friendly versions of these songs from pick your, look, if there is a more annoying question that gets asked on DJ forums, it's which record pool are you using? Right. And then we'll start laughing at you and saying, you know, whatever. But look, it's important, right? Someone talk about like buying DJ friendly versions and how that changes, you know, someone who's just getting started quickly. How did that change your life?
Well, the way it ends up working is a lot of these DJ friendly versions that we're talking about, doesn't matter if it's a clean version or dirty version, they are built and set to handle all of these transition types that we're talking about, specifically the beat matching, because, you know, like you said, most choruses, 8 bars, maybe 16 bars. What are the intros on all of these DJ friendly versions? They are all 8 or 16 bars. So if you have
instrumental, no lyrics,
exactly, no lyrics, just maybe like a drum beat or a clap intro, or maybe it's just an acapella in and out. You know, those kinds of different versions will immensely improve your chances of being able to blend 2 songs together just by being able to layer them. Because when you're doing your quick mixing, like we said, we like to do intro, verse, chorus. During that chorus, you could easily start just a loop of some of those percussion bars during that intro, right? 8 bars, 16 bars, whatever that is for you, however long that is. And then as soon as you get out of it, if that drops right into like the first recognizable part of that new song, whether it's the verse or maybe it's like a chorus first version, people are going to turn their heads. They're going to be like, whoa, like
even if
mind blowing for them.
Even if you haven't like explored, I mean, I'm not saying this is advanced for Paul that's been doing this a long time, but loops, right? I mean, that's sometimes a big concept. You're teaching somebody to DJ, that can trip you up. But if you buy a DJ friendly version that has an acapella or a clap 8-bar intro, and you just start that when the chorus starts, all you need to know is start this intro that I mean, I'm not talking about some mashup or remix or anything. I'm just saying buy in the club the DJ friendly version because it has a clap intro and outro. And you just, okay, I have 8 bars. I know that's 8 bars. And this chorus is 8 bars. I'll just start that. When that chorus starts, all you need to know, and you sound really credible, right?
And you've got to practice. The only way you're going to get good at this is you've got to practice. You got to record yourself, and you got to critique yourself. It's the only way it's going to happen.
But these DJ-friendly versions, like, are a quantum leap versus trying to figure out.
Be easy on yourself.
How to like quick mix something that goes right to, you know, there's lyrics in the first 3 beats or something. I mean, you have to, these DJ-friendly versions, you know, you can buy. I mean, you think you need to go to direct music service and buy all these remixes. No, just buy the DJ-friendly version. It's the same. It sounds the same. You're not like pissing your client off by playing some crazy remix. It's just the song, but it's built in a way that makes it really easy to quick mix. Last thing is, look, there are all kinds of more advanced techniques. I mean, it's, you know, key matching and hard drops and stuff like that. But look, if you know your BPMs and you know phrasing and you buy DJ-friendly versions of songs, are you not like really pretty far down the road of a credible quick mix with those 3 things?
I mean, to be perfectly honest, if you're able to get the DJ friendly versions and you know your phrasing well enough that this chorus is this long, this intro has just enough if I hit start at this specific moment of the first song, that is 90% of your work done right there for you, easily.
And not for nothing too, there's been DJs that we've known that don't share mixes or don't share sources. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, listen, I get my music mostly from DMS. Shout out to DMS. But it's what you do with that music is what matters, right? We can all buy the same song, and pretty much you're going to hear something different come out of all four of us, because it's what you do with the music, as far as I'm concerned, that matters. So don't be a douche, not share music, and not. What are we? Seriously? I mean, come on. Like, who are we?
Right. You know? Is it still 1996 where we're putting on our advertisement we have the largest record collection in town, or we have the largest selection of music?
100,000 songs and growing.
No, it's what you do with it that matters. I mean,
all right. So recap.
All right. 3 basic takeaways. Know your BPMs. Know what's close enough and what actually sounds good. With your equipment, it's going to be different for each one of you. So know how far you can go on either side. Speeding it up, slowing it down, whatever works. Know what versions you have. Make sure you get those DJ friendly versions that have the intro, whether it's a instrumental beat, a clap, an acapella in, something that allows you to be able to layer one song into the next. Those are your biggest things. BPM, DJ friendly songs, and knowing your phrasing well enough so that everything matches and lines up properly. That'll at least get you started and running really far, actually.
We're thinking about making a companion video to this where we're going to do some things on the deck behind us and show some things off. Dre's going to do that one-handed for us.
He's going to be an acrobat.
How are you DJing this weekend? I don't know. All right, but we're going to do a companion video where we show some of these things off, but hopefully that's a kind of a primer. Blow us up in the bottom. I know we could talk about this for days, to get you started, but I would say really the number one takeaway for me is go get it. If you're having trouble, you have a song you love, and in your performances, you can't figure out how to get it in there and quick mix it right, just go spend $1 and buy a DJ friendly version of that thing. It's going to change your life. All right. So, hey, that was a awesome topic. All right. Ready? Fourth wall. We don't know what we just came out of because we don't always record these things in line. So you know the deal. You know the drill. But we're excited to do a BPM. It's the game show of competitive DJ debate. What the heck was that?
God bless
Andre,
you.
Bless you, Dre.
Mickey, roll the BPM footage.
Roll it.
Pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bag.
All right, so for today's episode of BPM, it's Dre versus John with Rich as the judge. He's got the timer, and we're very excited. All right, so Dre is going first because that's the way it works. And I have a microphone. Dun, 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 dun. All right, all right, Mickey, spin the wheel.
Good luck, Sniffles.
Oh, wait, I should probably say how this goes. By the way, if you haven't watched an episode of BPM before, it's competitive banter. You may have seen something similar on your local ESPN affiliate. Mickey in the booth over there, he's going to spin the wheel, pull out a topic. He's going to read that topic to us. Dre and I each get 1 minute to debate it. Rich is going to decide who is smarter. Hopefully we say something smart. And Rich gets to decide who is smarter. And later on in post-production, Mickey will give us points, and someone will be the winner.
All right, winners, here's your first question. A competitor in your market has what you believe to be serious, tangible, and specific flaws in their business plan or product quality. You know the client that you are meeting with also has interviewed this company. Do you bring up these specific flaws in your competitor's product directly with this client?
Ooh, that's a good one. Dre, take a stab at that.
Oh, I get to go first. Yay. As I've said before in the past, I am a fan of decorum, and I would say no. Not directly. So you don't say company X does this, it's not the right way, let me tell you why. What you do is you highlight those flaws in a manner in which you tell them how you do those things that you think the other company does badly.
30 seconds.
So basically, you pinpoint them without actually drawing light to them by telling them how you do those aspects.
You're right, of course, right? That you never disparage another company. But I would say I'd probably be a little more direct than that. I'm not sure I'm putting name on company, right? But I'm going to say, hey, especially if I know, like if they've said, or maybe they're working with a wedding planner and they've said, okay, hey, they're interviewing this person before you. I am absolutely directly going to, change around my presentation, tweak it a little bit to address those things very directly. And I may not put brand X's name on it, but I'm going to say, hey, look, you may have already interviewed companies that do this wrong. Don't have backup DJs. Don't have, whatever it is that I'm trying to highlight here. And I'm going to address it directly. So I think that they need to make those connections. Sometimes if you just list off things that you do well, they may not have, made those direct connections. I am going to directly point that out. I mean, especially if I know who the company is, if they're a single op and I'm like, well, what's their backup plan? Or, those things. But I may not say their name.
1 minute.
Rich, what do you think?
Well, I think you're both right. I mean, knowing both of you the way I do, I know John's going to take that conversation one step further and be a little bit more direct. But I know both of you, which this is what I agree with, are not going to call out that company and say, listen, dance DJ company does this. This is how we're different. You're going to exploit the differences using generic terms, but still getting the message across.
Yeah, this obviously is a tricky question because it's trying to get you to say, will you disparage? And of course, never, ever. In fact, if somebody asks me, like, what do I think of another DJ company? I'm going to say only nice things. I mean, there's always something nice you can say. And look, I have a feeling that there's a lot of other DJ companies in our market that would probably say as many negative things about us as they could. We're not going to go there for sure. But I think, you have to be direct and say, hey, I don't know if you thought about this, but this is what happens if X.
You have to highlight the differences, but you don't want to bring them down with it because that's just bad business. You know what I mean? But you definitely, I mean, you're going to lose your seat at the table if you don't highlight the fact that, listen, we're different than a single lot because of this, and
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to make that education, right? That's the whole point of you talking to them. I mean, if they may not, if company A says, here's what's good about us, and I only said, well, we're company B, here's what's good about us, they may not make that connection enough to say, oh, wait, shoot, that guy's right. We can't do that.
Because you got to remember, this is their first time doing this, so they don't know what they don't know.
Exactly.
So you really have to educate, not sell. This whole thing's not a sale process. It's education.
But here's the problem with BPM is that, of course, who went first was right. Because if I went first, I would say something very similar to what Andre said. But I had to go second, so I had
that was good.
Say what you're on. That was a good one. All right, Nikki, spin the wheel.
Question number 2. You enroll for a bridal show and discover that the promoter has far exceeded the amount of DJ vendors that they promised would be at the show. Is it a deal breaker for your attendance? Do you call them on it?
No, as a matter of fact, I am probably more excited. I get to go first, right? Start the clock. Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm probably more excited. The more DJs there are, I get more excited. Probably conversely to maybe other companies. And no, I will not call them out. As a matter of fact, I'll probably applaud them. Look, this happens to us all the time. Bridal show promoters are in a tough spot. They have to generate their revenue by selling booth space. That's how their business model. I'm never going to beat up a bridal show promoter if they have 1 or 2 extra DJs. In fact, I love that. Line up every brand X great value DJ that exists, because the way that I think we win is in the evaluation between us and everyone else. So if you want to line up more of everyone else, give me all of that. Give me all the smoke. I want to show like, hey, you just walked by 7 DJs that are this way, and then we're going to be different. I have that utmost confidence that the way we can construct not only a booth, but our plan at a bridal show is going to kill everybody else. So give me every brand X DJ in the market if you have them. I love it.
1 minute.
Give me all the smoke.
Unfortunately, I agree with you. It doesn't make much for a debate, but I agree with you, because if you can put all of the DJs in a room, it makes it that much easier for people to aesthetically look at setups and compare, because you're not just sitting there talking to them, telling them this is what we look like, this is what we're going to bring, you're giving them a mini glimpse of how you present, how you come, how you portray your company and yourself. So if you can do that and a couple can walk around and see 7 other companies, there might be some that look similar, but then their process goes from, okay, there's 8 companies in this room that I want to talk to because I need a DJ, to their top 3.
10 seconds.
Then their top 3 becomes, let's get initial meetings with these guys, and then it becomes, we have a better fighting chance.
Question. We're in a market that the differences between us and our competition are vast, right? So does your answer change if competition creeps up on us and offers us very similar comparisons to what we offer? So similar caliber competitors at the bridal show? Does your answer change?
Probably not. Because baseline for me is that at a bridal show for me, we evaluate success of a bridal show in perhaps different ways than other vendors do. For me, the bridal show, if we book a wedding off of it, is kind of gravy. I'm there mostly for marketing purposes and to speak with other vendors. And frankly, to build a relationship with the promoter who, in other indirect ways, is a marketing opportunity, being friends with that person. So I tell you what, we have earned so much equity and I think business results from, at a debriefing at the end of a bridal show, the promoter of the show walks around, how'd it go for you? And if 5 of those DJs say, dude, this was garbage, like you hardly had anybody here, or dude, you have 7 DJs here, what the hell? And when it gets to us and we say, dude, thank you so much for having us here. The show was amazing. Dude, have us back every time. You know what? That has paid for us in our company, just doing that in our lifespan. It's paid unbelievable equity for us. So I don't think my answer changes. I think it's also, look, I want to know, if there's competition out there who's creeping up, and sorry if I'm taking more time, but if there's competition out there and they're creeping on us and I don't know it, that's way more dangerous than we go to a bridal show and I get to see it. Like, hello. Like, in our market, H&H, I dig those guys. They're really good, right? And there was a year, like, I hadn't even heard of them because they were new. And then they're at a bridal show next to us, and I'm like, whoa, they're good. Like,
yeah.
That fires me up. Like, we have to be better. We have to do this differently. The competition I know is good for me. So, yeah, still bring them all. And then, hey, next time I know that if they're at the show, we have to up our game.
Dre, does that change for you?
Not even a little bit. It actually fires me up as well, because in my opinion, there are DJs who have been doing this for just as long, if not longer than we have. But there is not, in my opinion, a company that's been doing the innovative things that we have that is still around. So, yeah, they may offer similar services, but they don't have the experience that we do when it comes to, let's face it, technology is technology. Troubleshooting, setup, operation.
I'm way more scared of what I don't know than what I do know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I'm doing a consultation with somebody and turns out we don't get it. Look, we don't get them all, right? And I find out I lost to whoever. That happened recently. And I'm like, who is that? And I go and I look at their website. I'm like, wow, okay, that's actually pretty good. I didn't even know about it. But at least at a bridal show, the more that's out there, you can keep tabs on what everybody's doing, right? I'm like, cool. Okay, they're a little better. That's not any better. Okay, that's worse. At least you get some glimpse. So yeah, line them all.
Got it.
Bring them all back.
Good stuff. Yeah.
All right, Nick. That was a good one. Is that the first one? No, that was the second one.
Second one.
All right, here we go. Number 3.
Last one, a custom quote generator on your website. Do you love it or hate it?
Okay, so I say no, because I firmly believe in our policy of every event is different. Every event, the time that goes into the planning of the event, the distance of the event, what services we're bringing to the event. It's all different. So to have a quote generator on your website, I think you tend to get locked into pricing where it may not be applicable.
That's true. And, okay, we just run into, again, how good is a debate show if we both agree on the same thing? So to make it at least somewhat interesting, I'm going to play devil's advocate, even though I agree with you that I don't think they're ever worth using. But I'll devil's advocate this. The reason why that companies that do use it argue for its use is that it's a filtering system or some pre-qualification, because it is frustrating if you line up a consultation and you're going through the conversation with them, and then at the end you get to pricing, you hear everything they need, and you send them a quote, and you're like light years away, right? Like, you know, and you just spent time, one, the consultation, two, trading emails, getting them all set up and for a consultation. And then you find out that you're thousands of dollars apart and you're like, you know, maybe if they had a glimpse about some pricing before they did all this, they would have said, listen, we're not even on the same planet as you. So the companies that use the quote generator, you know, as long as they're using it well and say, hey, this is, you know, a rough idea. We'd love to hear more about your plans, but here's a rough idea. I get it. I still don't want to use it for me because I want to be able to show the goods before I show them the price tag. But I do get that there's some pre-qualification that is helpful when you use one of those.
Overall, I say no, but it depends. So if you're a single operator,
Yes, that's
Yes,
the answer.
fighting time. Speakers still break down. Stuff still happens that requires your attention, right? You still have, maybe you have a full-time job and this is your side hustle. You need to carve every single minute of your day or your free time, and a quote generator for filtering out clients and sending out quotes is going to be a lifesaver for you.
I agree.
Just know it's also a one size fits all. So if you are at a barn or if you're at a convention center, you're bringing the same gear. So if that doesn't bother you, I mean, you've got to weigh the risk and reward, and this is a huge reward for you of saving time.
Well, you've nailed it, Rich. I mean, I think, and what's funny is we that same conclusion. I think we had a question the last time we did this that was the same thing, but it was like the availability checker.
Yes.
Like, you know, auto availability checkers.
Yep.
How we don't want to use that because, you know, look, we can make a decision about, do we take one more beyond, like we try to limit it to like half of our DJs is like kind of the sweet spot, but okay, maybe we'll take one more on a particular weekend or whatever. But if a single operator, it's just you, and you're either available or you're not. So it's great. But same thing with pricing. Like, look, if you're a single op, you can't afford to take a deal. Right?
Time is money.
I mean, you're going to generate a certain amount of money per event. So if you're not going to want to pay that, then I'll have the next person to have it. And it would work for that scenario. I
think about it too. If you're in the heat of season, right, and you got 3 events coming up this weekend, and you have 8 appointments, that's 8 hours, or you know, 4 hours if they're half-hour appointments. You know what I mean? Totally. And those 4 hours, you could be music prepping, you could be calling the venue, you could be, hey, it's wedding week, you could be, I mean, a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
So that's time.
I get it.
That time's got to come from somewhere.
So for some of it, I mean, again, that's I guess what a debate show is about is based on the scenario. This could be right or wrong. I see its value in certain applications, but for us, multi-op, it's not the thing for us. All right.
Yeah, it was good.
That was a good episode of the BPM. Good work, Dre. Good work, Rich.
Thank you.
Nice having you guys.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drippy, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the box.
All right. So that was an amazing topic we just talked about. We're going to do a setup wars here where we evaluate you bravely out there in DJ world and send us pictures of your DJ setups. The crew here is going to evaluate them on a scale of 1 to 10. We're going to have some fun doing that for entertainment purposes only. I got Dre here, our production manager here at Encore Events. We have the owner of Encore Events, Rich Cranston, over there. And I got Mickey in the box. Mickey, give us that setup wars video. All right, we're going to look at 3 setups today. We're going to rate them on a scale of 0 to 10 for entertainment purposes. Mickey, give us that first one.
Ooh,
I know who's going to like this.
Juicy.
All right, so Rich, you're going to start us off. What do you think about this?
I can't do this episode because I'm going to go draw this and start building it. This is sick. I love this. I love it. Everything about it.
Strong.
That's it. Move on to the next person. Everything about it, I love. The fire extinguisher annoys me, but you can't do anything about that.
Can't do anything about that. Dre?
Nice job.
Well, I wonder how Rich feels.
This hits all of my points. I have one question, which
too.
isn't a criticism. It's more of a question. It's clean. It's sleek. It's, it all matches. There is no stretch fabric. I I like the wood paneling or the faux wood paneling on the facade. I think that gives it a little bit more girth and sturdiness.
So far in setup words, Dre's used the word slender and girth.
Slender and girth.
Mark the video points of that, Mickey. Are you having a heart attack? Over there? What's going on? This is gonna make those blooper reels at the beginning of the freaking video.
Oh my gosh.
Slender and girthy, says Dre.
My only question for them is, what is their dance floor lighting situation?
Exactly what I was gonna say. What is it? I don't know what it is.
There
Is there one?
is none currently that I can see. But yeah, other than that, it's good.
I get why you guys love this. And of course, it is on the very good side of the spectrum for me as well. I would say I don't like things white. I don't know where that came from. Where in do we decide someplace in
That's
the
why
history
we're
of DJs? Why do you be friends with white people? Is that what you're saying? We're friends. No, but look, where did we decide at some point in DJville that gear should be white? I don't know the reason for it. I don't like white stuff. I think we should. Now look, if this was all black framed around stuff, I would say, look, I don't love the wood paneling on a facade as much as you guys do. Not because I don't think it looks attractive, and I guess it's okay here in this aesthetic, but it's not going to work everywhere. If you're in a very modern, high-end hotel room that's super sleek and modern, aesthetic, and you bring in a rustic aesthetic, I mean, I don't know if this is the guy's only facade and he brings it everywhere. But if it is, that's not going to work in some places. And you've built this thing for limited application where if this was all black, by the way, I sound like a broken freaking record every time I do setup words. If this was
Get off my lawn!
Right. No, I think the opposite. I'm trying to think more modern. I think that if this was, even if it was all white, would be, I think, a more wide application. I mean, I think that you can't bring rustic to modern. I mean, if you are, I don't get it. So I think flexibility is good. I mean, if you have a different insert for every place you go, great. I don't know if gray wood goes with brown wood. I mean, obviously this is a great setup. It's super clean. It's modern gear. It's very well appointed. I just don't know if it goes everywhere. So I'm not like as falling down in love with it as you guys are, just because like you can't use it everywhere. And I don't like things that are all white. I just think it's like, hi, look at me, I'm the DJ, and I don't understand why we do that. But in any case, it is obviously very good. Rich, give this thing a score.
I'm going to offer a 7.5. Get yourself a laptop skin.
Okay. Dre?
8.8.
God, you guys love this way more than I do. I'm at 6.5. All right. Number 2.
Speakers on stacks of chairs.
Oh, my word.
Welp, Mickey had to give us one of these. Richard, be gentle.
It just doesn't work. I mean, usually I try to be nice, but yeah. Get yourself some stands.
Maybe they forgot their stands.
Forget investing in stretch fabric for the chairs. The TS90s from Ultimates, they're only about $100. So, I mean, good gosh. And then there's the little sub in the two-pat. Yikes. Start over.
But he got himself a DJ skin.
Start over everywhere. Sorry,
Holy
the
smokes.
moving yokes on the floor ain't doing it for me. You better hope your music's good.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, he's got two juniors on the floor.
Yikes.
The two-panel facade. Yeah.
All right. Dre, what do you think?
There's so much going on with this.
This is not good. I mean, your speakers need to be on speaker stands. Your facade is not even symmetrical because you have that sub there, which even with that sub there, you can still make it symmetrical. Your lights are on the floor. They're not doing anything for you down there. It really needs, this is a, starter set DJ, starter pack DJ that needs to spend a little bit more money, unfortunately.
Make DJing great.
All right, so I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to look at this and I'm going to build, it's probably untrue, but a narrative around what we see here. just make this more interesting instead of three of us bashing whoever this is. What if you drove 100 miles to do this gig, and when you got there, you realized that you forgot your bag that had your speaker stands and your light totems in it? Like, oh crap, forgot it. I have these stretch fabric things that were in this other bag, so I'm gonna stack these chairs or grab this bar stool, whatever it is, and stretch fabric over them and put the speakers on there. Hey, and that, no? Anybody?
Well,
no. Anyway, look.
Don't take the picture.
Right, then you don't take the picture. Yeah. Right.
I mean, even if that were the case, there are still things. I mean, make it so that your facade is facing the front.
Rich, you saying that right now changes my whole mind. Like, okay, if you totally effed up and this was the case and you're in survival mode and you're at a gig 100 miles away and you had to do this because you forgot your stuff. Why are you posting it on the
time
internet?
you and I went to do a wedding together and I forgot my pants, I was not out in the middle of the floor saying, hey, everybody, look at me on the MC. No, I stuck my ass behind the table until my wife brought me my pants. Then I went out.
So, right, it's awful. You're right. That makes all the difference. Like, I was right? Hey, bet of the doubt. Look at this picture. I went in survival mode and did okay, even though I forgot all my stuff. Yeah, it's terrible.
If I was the client and I paid you $300, $200, or whatever, because this is all this person's charging,
sure,
right? I would be embarrassed. I literally walk up to this person like, where the hell is the money that people pay you because you're not investing it in stuff? I have chairs. I mean, I could have grabbed the stuff out of my living room and done an equally maybe as good as job as that.
Yeah, it's brutal. All right, so let's score this thing quick, and
it's an embarrassment.
Give the embarrassment a score.
Yeah, I'll give you a 1.
I'm gonna give him 3.5 because he tried. I don't see cables.
Look a little harder. He gets the 2.
Okay. I'm squinting. I'm Brian. All right, so that was a train wreck. Nice stack of chairs. Nice stack of chairs, bro.
Make DJing great. DJing.
All right, number 3, Mickey. Dre, you go first on this one. I'm in love. Where's the lights?
I like it.
There's those little puck lights.
I like it. It does what a DJ setup should do. It fades into the background. It doesn't stand out. And even if it was clustered and chaotic, you wouldn't be able to tell because it does what a DJ's setup should do, which is blend into the background and not be a focal point. So I like it. It's clean.
Rich, what do you think?
Well, I think this person did a tremendous job of knowing your environment.
Yes.
The uplighting you did on the walls, fantastic. Not a fan of mirror balls, but if used correctly, they do great, offer a great effect. The stair tubes or whatever tubes manufacturer there, great job. I think we have a shitty pair of tires on a really hot sports car. I wish you would have done something else with something to hold your rack, right? I mean, it looks like a TV tray. You put your rack on it. So maybe, get a little something different. But this is fantastic.
It's fantastic.
It's really, really good.
It's the best one we've seen. And it's simple. And you didn't okay, if those are real, like those Astera, like 360 tubes, the guy spent a ton of money on that. But here's why I love this, right? It accentuates the stuff that should be accentuated. The lighting. Not the lighting fixtures, but the lighting is accentuated, right? The stuff that is cool is accentuated. The stuff that nobody cares about, your speaker and whatever your rack's on, that disappears, right? So it's not like, hey, look at me on the DJ, but it's like, look at the stuff that's cool, and the rest of it disappears. Now, we just looked at a funny meme together about, like, if you're not attractive and you're overweight, DJ, you should, like, hide behind a facade. And if you're a super attractive dude that's in good shape or girl, then, hey, let the rack disappear. This is great. I mean, it is like, hey, you're going to be out there like you're, Avicii, right, standing between these 6 tubes and not having nothing to cover you up. So I hope you look like a rock star. But dude, I love this aesthetic so much. The gear you don't care about is black. The lighting looks dope. It looks magical. I mean, but and like you said, Rich, it fits this room.
Oh, yeah.
Like so well. Like this is a modern, very cool room. The gear matches it. It's by far the best one. It might be the best one we've ever had on this show. Even though, like you said, like it's super simple. Like it looks like there's just legs on the bottom of the guy's road case or girl's road case for their deck, but it just works so freaking well. It's nuts. It's awesome. Best one we've seen.
All right, score time.
Try to go first.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 8.95.
Rich?
9 for me.
Yeah, this is a 9 for me. It'd be a 9.5 or 9.75 if like Rich said, the next piece is like a bun console or one of those cool consoles. Yeah. You do that, it's not 9.5 or a 10 for me. It's literally perfect.
Yep.
Like you hide the fixtures, you hide the things your lights are on, make it black and disappear.
The detail's crazy.
Oh my
Even
God.
the stands at the mirror balls, because that could have been very easily have gone off the rails, right?
Yeah,
a tripod, but I mean everything. When used correctly, mirror balls still are great.
This person thinks like me, like minimize and accentuate the stuff that no one cares about, like the things that your lights sit on, but make that look cool. Oh my God. I love this in every possible way. If like you said, if the next piece they upgrade is to a console, it'd be a 10. It'd be the perfect DJ setup for me.
Well, they spend so much money.
amazing.
I mean, the speakers aren't cheap.
No.
The tubes aren't cheap. I don't care where you buy them from. And those uplights, those are not cheap.
They're not. No.
Definitely not.
All this is so nasty. And again, if they had a console there,
But you have a TV table as a
it's
stand.
probably not that. I mean, I think that Odyssey makes a product that's like the retractable legs for the bottom of your road case.
Yeah.
But dude, you know how easy this guy's setup and teardown is?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, it's awesome. Yeah, this is
stuff.
a 9. It's 9.25 for me. Man, you update to a console and this thing is nuts. All right.
Please tell me you got that.
Whatever the Android version of Alexa or Siri just said they want to be my friend on my phone. All right, that's Setup Wars, and that one was the best one ever. Whoever that one is, send them an email, Mick. Best one ever. All right, see ya. All right, that's it for us. Another episode of The Real DJ Show is in the books. We want you along every time, so make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, and ring the little bell so you get notifications of all of our new content. We know you're DJs and have a lot to say, so jump in the comment section to join the debate. If you have content suggestions or you want your DJ company featured on The One Thing, email us at TheRealDJShow@rochesterdj.com. Lastly, if you're sick enough that you want to take the audio of this with you wherever you go, you can find the audio everywhere quality podcasts are found. All right, that's it for us. Show's over, bitches.